Hey guys, it's Cobalt here, and welcome back to another video. Ever since the new release of G7 LPS at the beginning of the year, I've actually made quite a few videos talking about the comparisons between Generation 2 and Generation 7 pets, and I will continue to make more of them. Today's video is no exception on that, but instead of just comparing some normal LPS molds, I will be comparing the packaging between G2 LPS and G7 LPS to see how much they've changed over the years. Anyways, let's get right on into it. Alright, here are the two sets we're going to be looking at today. First up, we have the classic, nostalgic G1 LPS. The pet in here has a red magnet, so that's why I'm putting it in Generation 1, and this is a package from 2006. Basically almost 20 years ago. That's literally crazy. And then on the other side, we have one of the brand new pet pairs packs, of course, from 2023/2024. With the messy release, it's hard to say when exactly these pets came out, but on the bottom of the box, it's copyrighted 2023. So obviously, this won't be a complete one-to-one comparison because we have a set with one pet and a set with two pets, but generally, you get the same idea. They're both sort of the same size, they come with sort of the same amount of accessories, and there's an orange cat in both of them. You know what? That's close enough. So let's start off by taking a look at the classic Generation 1 packaging. So here it is. For all of you new in-box purists out there, I'm sorry that I'm going to be opening this, but obviously there's some damage on the packaging and one of the accessories has fallen from its original placing, so that is exactly why I'm going to be opening this set. I also bought it just to open it, so I'm not too concerned about doing that on my part. But anyways, first up, this type of packaging is, the kind that hangs on little hooks. Up here at the top, it says ages 4+. We got the classic old style Littlest Pet Shop logo with some artwork that I believe is done by Prescott Hill. I'm not 100% sure, but it looks like his style, so for now, I'm just going to assume that's the case, but if I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments. What I love about the old LPS packaging from the early 2000s is this super flowy, wonky shape that they have to them. I think it's super fun, and it just really leans into the whole early 2000s aesthetic. What's also cool about this one is here, indented onto the clear plastic of the front, there's these cute little paw prints, and I feel like, although I do really love the new packaging, which I'll talk about later, they don't have the same attention to detail, I suppose, that these ones do. Other than that, though, the background of this one is just a plain blue, but it's that very classic LPS blue. And here is what the back looks like. We have all of our information and warnings right here. Of course, we have Hasbro, and over here you can see it's copyrighted 2006. Up at the top, it says, collect all these fun-loving pets, and then it's got pictures of all of these pets, and according to this, all the pets here contain magnets, again, because it was one of the early generations of LPS. It's very interesting, though, because of course we have the artwork on the LPS logo, and if you've seen other old LPS packaging, this is the case for them as well, but instead of having drawings or artwork for all of the pets here on the back, it's actually just 3D renders or photos of the pets, which is very interesting, and one of these pets here is even a Magic Motion one. But yeah, I'd say in terms of design, the back of the package has a lot more details than the front, but we're not just here to critique the packaging. Let's get this one opened up. Oh, and of course, if you couldn't tell already, this one was once a Target exclusive, which is very interesting. There's even some little paw prints here, which I didn't even notice before. Okay, there's also all of the disgusting pieces of dried up rubber band fell out of the package. That's super cool. And I can just pull the pet right out as well because all of his rubber bands have broken off. Alright, here is everything that this set comes with. I will be talking about the LPS last, but first let's take a look at the accessories. So for starters, we have this green plastic water bottle. I've actually never seen an accessory like this in real life. I think this is a really cool mold and definitely one that I think would be super cool if Basic Fun brought back. With the G7 LPS, there's also not too many accessories that are made from this translucent plastic. We've gotten a couple like the goggles and the fish, but I remember in G2 there was definitely a lot more with this plastic as well, and for something like a water bottle, I think it really enhances the accessory and actually makes it feel more real. And then next up, we have this sleeping bag. It's actually made of fabric. Again, something that we do not see in the G7 LPS, at least currently. There is no fabric accessories, and even in generations 4 through 6, I really can't recall them making any fabric accessories then either. But I think this is really nice. Obviously, it's going to fit an LPS super well. The quality of it feels good, and it's actually embroidered, and I think this is super cute, and definitely an accessory I could possibly see myself using. So aside from the accessory that the LPS is obviously wearing, we also have these two paper accessories that came in. Obviously, these are kind of just more of package decoration. I feel like a lot of the early generations of LPS had things like this in their packaging that over time have just become destroyed or lost or thrown away. But it's really cool to see these perfectly preserved in this package. I'd say these are probably the best anyone has ever seen them out of box. We have a little paper campfire. It's made of 2 parts so it can stand up. And then we have this paper tent. I actually really like the tent. You can just stick an LPS in there. Maybe. Okay, they actually don't really fit, but it's fine. It's definitely something that I think enhances the overall look of the package, but also something that I could have seen myself playing with as a kid, but I definitely would have destroyed it over time, so hopefully I can preserve these to the best of my ability. And finally, here is the LPS and the last accessory that comes with this set. Obviously, I'm just showing them together because the accessory is still on the pet. Obviously, since the LPS literally just came out of the box, it should be in mint condition, but this one is honestly not in the greatest condition. It has a couple paint errors here, like the eye's a bit messed up for some reason, but overall, I guess the gradient on the mouth is pretty clean. There's obviously no dirt or anything like that on it. There's also another rubber band on this LPS holding the scarf on, and of course, here's the red magnet on the bottom. I would say that's my biggest issue with the older LPS packaging, is that everything was held in with rubber bands, and there's just a lot more plastic in general. Obviously, that's not very environmentally conscious, and I've seen that a lot of toy companies, Hasbro included, have begun to move past that and, you know, try to use more compostable materials and just cardboard and less plastic, which is really great. But obviously, I feel like the rubber bands are also unfortunate if you are a new in-box collector, because they degrade over time as shown by this package, and they break and they fall off and they look disgusting, and then the LPS and accessories end up falling out of their place. So when that happens, what's really the point of keeping them in box, you know? But anyways, let's take off this guy's bandana, because if I'm gonna be completely honest, that is the entire reason why I bought this set. So the rubber band is like glued on. That felt disgusting to take off. Here is the bandana. It is another fabric accessory. I've always wanted one of these. I just think they look so cool. I know there's this green one and there's also a red one. I'd love to have the red one as well, but I'm so glad that I finally have this green one. And the Velcro still holds up really nicely as well. Very clean, very nice. Just a bit wrinkled here at the top because of where the rubber band was stuck on it for so long. And now we can see the LPS once again. You can also see that beneath the bandana, he sort of has another paint error here on the top of his leg. It's always strange when you open up a new in-box pet and the condition is like not even as good as the out-of-box pet you already have. Here's a little comparison, because yes, I do actually already have this pet. Seeing two of them side by side, for some reason he is strongly reminding me of Garfield, especially in the live action movies. You can see, although this one does have a scratch on its eyes are generally painted a lot better with the factory paint, although of course again the gradient on this one's mouth is much better, and you can also see the little paint spill error on this one's neck better in comparison to this one as well. Just do a little turn, see if you notice anything about these guys that is off or different. Honestly, their stripes all look pretty similar. Both got 3 stripes on the tail. Yeah, I'd say it's just the eye and the little leg that are the most different between these guys. I'm honestly not sure which one I'll be keeping. Maybe both, maybe just the new one. If I can fix up this little paint error here, we shall see. But anyways, let's get on to the second set. Here is the second set of this video. Again, this is a 2-pack that I have actually unboxed on my channel, but I'm just going to be unboxing again and pretending like this is the first time I've ever opened it. It's one of the pet pairs, and I think these are probably some of my favorite sets in the G7 line so far. I think that this is just like generally a really good starter. You know, you get 2 solid pets and 3 accessories, and I'd say that I honestly really have no complaints with the pet and accessory options that we get in each of these. Also, this specific set, which as you can see is very crunched, was graciously sent to me by the amazing people over at Basic Fun. This video is not sponsored by them. This was simply gifted to me because, you know, it's a set that they can't really resell if it's already crumpled up like this, so I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm an LPS ambassador, by the way. If you aren't familiar with what that is, I have a whole playlist of videos about it on my channel, and I would definitely recommend going to check it out if you're interested in everything that has to do with the G7 LPS. But anyways, back to the package. I think that the packaging for the G7 LPS is so cute. I honestly love it so much. I feel like it has the same nostalgia factor that Littlest Pet Shop has in general, but with an updated modern twist that I personally really enjoy. I think there's definitely some design elements about the packaging, especially with the way that it looks here on the side, how it's kind of made like a house, that also reminds me of the G4 packaging style, which, sorry if this is a hot take, but I kind of like that packaging style as well. I am a big fan of bright colors and like modern contemporary design when it's done right, and I think this is an example of it being done right that I really like. And I also love how the little picture of the LPS here, you know, the Basic Fun G7 LPS mascot is very large, so you really get to see it on the box. It really stands out. I also love how brightly colored the logo is. Again, really stands out. I think that the logo is a super great way to show that it's the same brand that we know and love, but updated to a newer audience. I just think it's great, and I'm not just saying this because I was sent this for free or because I'm an LPS ambassador. These are generally my own opinions. I think the artwork on the side is very cute. Again, with these square rectangular boxes, there's definitely a lot more room for adding stuff like that. I think it gives the boxes a little bit more personality that I wouldn't say we're missing on the G2 boxes. Like I said, there's the different little personality details like all the pomperts everywhere. So I think that both of them sort of have their own personality that they bring to the table, which I know is very strange to say about a literal cardboard box, but that's just how I feel about it. So let's get this opened up. Alright, again, I still have absolutely no idea why the 2006 package that I unboxed did not come with a checklist, because usually they do, but here's the checklist for G7, also known as the Collector's Guide. And again, it just has every single pet. There's 69 you can collect in Wave 1, and here on the back is the advertisement for the Roblox game. And speaking of the Roblox game, here is the code. As always, I share these anytime I unbox one of these sets in my videos, so you guys can go ahead and redeem it for yourself, because I don't really play the game, but maybe I will start doing that more often once there's more updates. Who knows? It's definitely come a long way in the short amount of time that it's been available, which is pretty cool. And finally, every single G7 set comes with one trading card. This is the trading card that this set comes with. It is of the Lucky Cat. The only problem with finding the trading cards, the coin, and the checklist in the pet pairs sets is that it's actually kind of hidden behind this piece of cardboard inside the package that the pets are connected to. So you have to pull it all the way out to actually find it. And I know there's been quite a few people who have missed this in the packaging. So hopefully you guys don't forget it, because I think the trading cards are a really cool addition to Littlest Pet Shop. And here are the pets and the accessories. So let's start off by taking a look at the accessories here. This set comes with 3 accessories. We have this little charcuterie board, this piece of cheese with an apple on it, and this little can of sardines. So returning once again to the first set that we opened, here is the accessory that's most comparable to any of these because it's made of plastic. I'd say all of the accessories for G1 and G2 were very consistent plastic-wise. They were either made of this translucent plastic or a slightly harder normal colored plastic. I'd say this one has a slight rubber feel to it if you kind of like move your fingernail along the surface. It's not squishy or anything, but you can feel that it has a little bit more of a rubbery texture than the other plastics. Whereas something that I've noticed with G7 is that there is really no consistency with any of the plastic that they use. Even with the best plastic, which I would say in this case is probably the sardine can, it still feels cheaper than the sardine cans that we had back in the day with the original sets. And especially with this right here, you can kind of tell on camera it's a much shinier plastic. And since it's so hollow on the bottom, it just like has this much cheaper feeling to it. I wouldn't say right off the bat that this is a cheap plastic. It's definitely better than some of the other accessories that I've felt from G7, but compared to the oldies, it's not as good as it used to be. Although I do really appreciate the attention to detail on this one. I think that it has a really nice mold, and I'm glad to see that all of the details on this are actually painted. Again, when it comes to accessories, I feel like this set in particular is definitely a very good demonstration of how good accessories can be, because all of these ones, like I said, are fairly detailed. Really no complaints about the plastic too much, although again, not the same qualities we once knew, and all the details are actually painted. I definitely can't say the same for other G7 accessories, but these ones are exceptions. Anyways, let's take a look at our pets now. So here are the 2 pets. At this point, I've reviewed the G7 LPS countless times. We already know the drill. Their heads are slightly squishy, although something that I've mentioned a couple times in videos is that over time, once you actually have your pets out of the package, their heads seem to harden up. And I think that's pretty apparent with this Lucky Cat here. Her head is honestly pretty solid. I can't really squish it too much. The German Shepherd's head is a little bit more squishy, but again, you actually have to be pretty firm with it, and it's nowhere near as bad as some of the pets that I opened up at the very beginning of the launch. These ones also have pretty nice paint jobs. This one's paint is a lot shinier, and this one's slightly more matte, although the paint on her tail is more shiny, but I'd say when it comes to paint on LPS bodies, it's a little bit shiny just because the bodies are slightly different plastic. Here's what the back looks like. The condition of these out of box is very, very good. I'm not noticing any imperfections or anything like that, which again, quality control for the G7 LPS hasn't been the greatest, but there's always exceptions, and I'd say these ones turned out pretty good despite how damaged the actual box was. The only thing that I'm noticing here is that this one's eye, you can kind of see it, seems a little bit rough just because the printing and the actual glaze didn't come together as well as they should have. And something that I have noticed, especially with the pets with orange bases, is that if you look at the highlights in her eyes, they're not as white as they could be, especially when you compare it to this white marking here. For some reason, the orange plastic is kind of showing through the layers on the eyes, even though the eye paint paint seems extremely strong and really hard to remove with acetone, it's still a really thin layer in some cases, which is why some of the eyes aren't as clear or as opaque as other ones. I'd say those are my main complaints with this set, but overall I'm pretty happy with it. And since we have 2 orange cats in this video, let's do one last comparison. I've never actually put these 2 types of LPS together, and seeing them right next to each other is very funny, and not gonna lie, I kinda ship it. We got this short king and his like giant buff girlfriend. I think this is a thing now. Okay, we're getting off topic. Let's get back to actually comparing these pets. Side by side, you can definitely see how far LPS have come since the first generation of the LPS that we know and love today to the most recent. These bases are obviously quite different, and this is generally just a bigger cat base, but I feel like with this side by side, you can definitely tell that the G7 LPS are just ever so slightly bigger than the original ones. You can also see that the original Generation 1 LPS never had really glossy eyes. They have a matte finish to them, whereas every LPS past that point has had glossy eyes, and I feel like the glossy eyes definitely improve them. Makes them feel a lot more lifelike, and I really like the rounder eyes that the newer G2 LPS have. I'll admit, the majority of this video is probably just me rambling and yapping, but LPS is just something that I'm really passionate about and love discussing. Despite their differences, I think there's still a lot to love between the original LPS and the newest ones that we have. And even though they can appear quite different on surface, together I'd say these pets and accessories are actually pretty cohesive. Anyways, don't forget to leave me a comment and let you know what you think about these LPS. Which do you prefer, the original packaging or the newest packaging? And same with the LPS. Change is going to happen no matter what, and some people are definitely going to be more satisfied than others, but coming from me, somebody who's loved LPS my entire life, I'm so happy to see G7 LPS back in the stores, and I'm really excited to see how the brand is going to evolve and improve as long as Basic Fun is owning them. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you on my next one. Bye!